Louisville, Kentucky, stand up. DJ Drama, let's go.
Pull up in the driveway, sitting on them twins. Thunderstorm money, got me wiping up my rims. Man, it's raining hundreds in the
The pre-industrial revolution consisted mostly of agriculture. Did you know 97% of Great Britain was involved in farming? But farmers didn't use their land too wisely. They kept planting over the same crops over and over each year, which sucked all the nutrients out of the soil. They had a lot to learn and a lot to improve.
The Industrial Revolution itself refers to a change from hand and home production to machine and factory. The first Industrial Revolution was important for the inventions of spinning and weaving machines operated by water power, which was eventually replaced by steam, which was their main power during the Industrial Revolution. This is how people made most of their money.
The farmer's main source of transportation was horses. They were a major aspect in farming, but the farmers also had to make sure to take care of their horses.
This need to be.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Go ahead, 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 baby girl, go ahead, 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 go ahead. Shawty got a.
The putting out system existed during the 15th century, but it was most used during the 17th and 18th century because it was more advanced. The putting out system was the first method to make clothing during the Industrial Revolution. This machine did not run on any fuel or coal and was very small. Workers could have a machine at their house, which was very handy because they didn't have to go to work. The workers would get all the materials to make clothing like cotton from merchants. All the supplies the workers needed were raw materials, materials that come straight out of nature. The merchant would also bring the finished clothing to a marketplace or a bigger city so that they can be sold.
The putting out system was quickly replaced by the spinning jenny. The spinning jenny was invented by James Hargreaves in 1764. This device was much handier because it could spin more than 1/3 at a time, unlike the putting out system that could only spin 1/3 at a time. As more inventions were invented, machines got bigger and bigger and faster. The machines could not fit at someone's house anymore, so special houses were made for these machines known as the first factories.
In the 18th century, farmers would plant their crops and wait for them to grow, and when they grew, they would harvest them. When the time came to plant again, the farmers would plant the same crop in the same place. This proved to be a problem because the crops used the nutrients in the soil to help them grow. If the same crop is in the same place all the time, then the nutrients will be drained, which kills the soil along with the crop. This is where crop rotation came into play. In crop rotation, when you plant one crop one year, it uses some of the nutrients in the soil.
Then the next year you plant a different crop in the same place to help replenish the nutrients taken from the soil. And after that year you plant a different crop in that spot, and so on until you get back to the plant you had originally planted there. That keeps the nutrients balanced and doesn't use all of the soil's nutrients. This invention helped farmers become able to plant more and more crops and never have to worry about their soil.
Put your name on it, put your name on it. Come and put your name on it. Your name, but you wanna put your name on it. Put your name on it. Come and put your name on it. It's not
man T, man.
The factory system was a new way of organizing labor made necessary by the development of machines, which were too large to house in a worker's cottage. Furthermore, the efficient use of the new machines required that many of them be installed together where they could all be driven by the same source. To meet the growing demands for goods, new methods of production were developed. For example, Henry Ford set up the assembly line. At first, the task of assembly of an automobile was complex, but thanks to the assembly line, this task became fairly simple because it was broken down into the simple task by the individual workers.
Workers' homes became separately located from their place of work, all brought together under one roof. It was considerably easier for the factory owner to supervise and closely regulate their workers. Working hours were as long as they had been for the farmer, that is, from dawn to dusk, 6 days per week. Hours were regulated by the factory clock to ensure that a full measure of work was performed. Wages were so low that the entire families, father, mother, and children, had to work in order that the family might survive at a bare subsistence level. The cruelest form of employment was that of children taken from orphanage or otherwise abandoned, for these unfortunates had no adult to afford them some degree of protection from exploitation. The work performed was often dangerous. Children employed in coal mines, pushing or pulling coal carts, grew up in sudden growth and died at early age, usually by their 20th year.
If by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home.